You're coming?
No.
Okay, this is a project jointly we did with Blue Fox, which is kind of consultant in NGO context, in collaboration with Cool Tool and DCG Lab, which is my oldest baby as a consulting firm in neuromarketing. Usually, I don't do a lot of projects now, but the projects that I love to do and it's interesting for me. So one of the problems in NGO context was they had the great context of using the emotions and attention. And I call attention and emotion as like salt and pepper in my understanding for the food in neuromarketing. So based on the context, you need to know how much salt you need to add to your food and how much pepper. Sometimes too much salt is not good for your food, and sometimes the pepper also it should be adjusted. So after again, because my colleague from Blue Fox, who is like a consultant for this KNH KNH, which is one of the biggest NGOs and focusing on kids and children uh, in Germany and globally. They're running globally. So we discussed about this, and he said, Omid, I think there are lots of rooms for improvement. And one of the things that still is in the old style and fashion, and it could be very nice if we can really decode what's going on, to just understand, decode what's going on in terms of the effectiveness of communication and campaign, which is interestingly still paper based. So they are sending still paper letters to raise fund for charity. And this is not very easy task in terms of data collection, because according to their uh, accord sorry, my baby is crying at,
Oh.
at the back. At the background, we just talk about the kid, and then you see the 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 law of attraction. Anyway, yeah, this is happening. So just a moment, because I need to see what's going on.
Sure.
Okay, now it's okay. The KNH communication for raise of the funds for charity. And this is very interesting context, and it was not really explored before. And based on the context, we discussed to jump in to this Mission Impossible. Why it was interesting project? Because it was paper-based, it was not possible to set up the lab because of geographical limitation, and also the limitation that we had in terms of the client. And then it was not really feasible because our target audience, they were like more than 60 years old people. So basically, they are sending letters and asking these target group whether they are willing to like just tick the box in their letter and donate money at the end of each month, some money to the children like abused in Brazil or in Africa. So as you can see, it was quite challenging. Based on that, we define something that is important: how we can measure their willingness to donate and this connection to attention and emotion within the context of their communication. Because you know better than me, what does it mean, emotion? Energy plus motion, which leads to action, which is willingness to donate. So how we should design the research, it's very interesting to see. So basically, we try to make it as natural as possible. And the setup that we had was completely according to like an ethical way of, okay, you are willing to participate in this study. If they wanted to do, okay, they go to the implicit way of measuring the facial recognition and eye tracking and emotional response. If not, they go to the direction of just explicit. One important part in this project was there was a letter, and in letter it was like love letter, so they had to open. And this is important, like first impression of the letter, and inside we have other 4 letters. I mean, like the papers as a stimuli. So among those that they saw the envelope, you see how is different their behavior in terms of like the way they want to open, the impact of content on the elements that we have on the letter. They can have effect on opening this letter or not. How we should measure that? Obviously, we ask explicitly, and also we had set up the eye tracking and emotional facial recognition to understand how they are going to react to these phenomena. One of the important part in this project was how we are going to collect data. So we use also we ask client to help us in terms of their database. It was huge work, but also we had opportunity to put some budget and use let's say different panels that they have access to these specific target audience for this project. One of the other elements that it was important here, it was previous experience. As you can see, the previous experience also you need to take into consideration. Maybe you can help me if you want. What would you do in terms of like research design, and what other criteria you would consider? You can turn on mic and you can say.
So if I understand, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, I will just start. So my idea was like, if I saw it correctly, in the last table you showed, you looked at if people had already donated in the past or not. And I think I would have to focus on the people who haven't donated, to try out which kind of mailing would work better with those who didn't donate before, to activate like new donators. Yeah. So that was my idea.
Yeah.
For me, I would say something which seems to be very contrasting. The whole concept itself seems to be a little bit not up to date. Why, in a sense? Because looking at the paper, the kind of advertisement it shows and everything, so it's not impactful enough in a way. For example, if you see, for example, on the pictures we've seen, the color tones, the visuals, it's not that impactful. So maybe that's why we do have people resilient in opening the envelope, because the message is not that impactful in a way. For example, when you see the hope sign, it just focuses on the stone basically. It doesn't give the proper background for hope. For example, if it's for African children, I would suggest in a way, just based on my experience in Africa, if it's based for African children, I would prefer something, the innocence of African children, with their hands like really dirty hands, or in a way, like, not being racism, but just use of color tones like I've seen in Africa. If you see the children's down here, I'm not sure if anyone have been to some real ghettos in Africa, which I've seen. If we can use this kind of depiction, maybe that in the mind would bring another kind of effect. That would obviously change the data that has been collected. That's one thing from my side of my point of view. Secondly, when you see that love, sign and emotions, it doesn't trigger real emotion. Looks to be like, I would say, just someone getting a selfie picture somewhere.
I liked it. I thought that's lovely.
Yeah.
It doesn't convey the message, honestly. The same thing actually, I really need things to be impactful in a way. For example, if we can relate, I haven't seen, sorry about that, but if we have seen BMW, the auto drive video, for example, the car was auto driving itself, and then it was suddenly stopped by an evil character. The evil character looked at the video at the car itself. There was no one in. So the evil character got scared of the driver's car. There's no one in the car. This is leave more
Mhm.
impacts on the brain. Just someone, like selfie for me. Honestly, I mean, I'm not being sarcastic, but just things which I see. That's it.
This is absolutely true. This is absolutely, you mentioned in the right way. That's why I again emphasize, before jumping to any project, we need to understand from outside in and inside out what's going on. Who is the key decision maker in this, let's say, campaign? Is not the let's say KNH. Those that are donating money, those are the key decision makers. And
Exactly.
understanding those demographic based on their experience. I don't know
Hmm.
whether we have a German from Germany, someone here that they know KNH. Yes. Uh,
I
it's
don't know
it's
the
quite
brand, but
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know chemicals.
I don't know whether I can even, for example, still I cannot pronounce Kinderhofen, something like that. The the brand, but they are focusing on, they're really one of the, I would say, relevant NGOs. And why the context matters in neuromarketing before jumping to tools, any tools. Maybe I start right away our master course with the pains as a neuromarketeers, that how you're going to face with something that is going to be very impactful before jumping to use any tools. These
Hmm.
are my experience that I face, and I want to share these pains as a neuromarketeer that I'm working in this area. Uh, I would say this sharing for you is much more important than understanding the tools, because anyway, you are all master of the tools. Even you know better than me in this domain. But I'm humble enough to say I don't know anything. And I found still I'm a simple student at the University of Love and Life when
Hmm.
I dig into human brain.
Hmm.
Still, I don't understand. It's very, very bold if you say, "Oh, I'm expert in brain," because brain is something that you cannot really still understand what's going on, and we are biased if we say, "Okay, this is the final result. This is the way it should be," and so on, so
Hmm.
on. People, their behavior is totally different. So my assumption is whatever we did in this project is by far closer to reality. At least it can give to client understanding when they do this letter and design this letter and all the stimuli for this audience that they send to the household. And imagine an old German person which is not familiar with eye tracking. And imagine we bring them into the lab and putting EEG and then asking them, they already, oh my God, what's going on here? So that was our limitation, and that is the most important thing that I would say we need to adapt based on very simple formula. Must to have and nice to have in your data collection. This is maybe lots of academic, let's say from academia, people, they say, oh, it is crazy to say that, but it's okay. But you cannot have the 100% the standard of data collection, and it's not close to reality. It is not. That's why you need to make something close to real reaction. And here, the reason that we used, and I asked like a brilliant team from Cool Tool that they were like helping a lot in terms of design of the study, in terms of like understanding how we should approach to this project, was really interesting to collaborate. Recently, Cool Tool acquired by multinational Canadian company called Rivi. Their expertise is like all-in-one, let's say, shop stop in terms of market research. If you search just Rivi, you will understand what they do. And recently they thought that, okay, we used to do a lot of survey, but again, look at again my example. We have just camera 1. We are missing camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. That's why they bought and they acquired Cool Tool recently. And this is very interesting direction for whole market research industry. And now they are even trying to go to the AI direction as well. So anyone knows before Cool Tool or worked before with Cool Tool? Yeah. Yeah, Mila. Mila, if you can talk, can you share your experience? I know, Mila, I think you did a great job with your thesis. Do you have ability to share your thoughts on the Cool Tool and how was your experience?
Yeah.
No, she cannot. Let me see.
I think she wrote in the chat that she's not able to talk. But it was an amazing experience and very user-friendly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mila. Yeah, so this was very interesting indeed on her thesis, and he did a great job on thesis as well.
Uh-huh.
This is the performance of the envelope front side. So you see the elements that should be there, and the elements that can be there. This is front. And what this data is telling you.
It seems that the eye tracker is just on the right down corner, basically, not on the brand itself. That's one thing. And the writings on the top right, it seems to be focused at all.
Okay.
So
The
I would
sequence.
sequence is a bit too much data, I would say. It's a little bit too much for
Mm-hmm.
someone to really have, in a subtle of seconds just to really have a look at it. And then it just focus on one point. It doesn't have really variations like around someone to get actual data from what is being depicted down here.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe lack of color tones from the writings, I would say.
Yeah, that's interesting. Any other any other point? Specifically, our German friends, I need your reflection because this is something that basically, if you divide nice to have and must to have elements, we cannot delete like KNH logo. We
Are you
cannot
sharing the right screen? So sorry for interrupting you, because all I'm seeing is like the cool tool page with the camera and the Amazon.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
sharing.
that's why I was wondering what I as a German can bring to the table. But yeah,
Well, you
Yeah.
will find out soon. Yeah.
okay, but now I get it.
So,
Yeah, okay.
oh, sorry. I thought that you see this. Sorry, my mistake.
All good. So the text in the pink highlighted box, it says your donation is protecting kids from violence,
Mm-hmm.
which and just the bold part is your donation is protecting kids, which I guess is good because that's the main message. Yeah. And now that I'm seeing the logo, I also recognize it. So at least there's that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. For some
And
reason, I
this
don't find it super
and
emotional.
yeah. So you see the banners. The only part that maybe we can, and we have the second place in terms of the noticeability. Like first is goes to the name and all the information, and the second one is this banner.
Hmm?
Do we really have impact and emotion here? And that was our research question, that how we can understand. We didn't want to propose the second one. And now, after all we have done in this project now, KNH it wants to run another study about the like online setting of a newsletter, online campaign with the Z generation, alpha generation, because new generation, the way they are donating is quite different. So this is very interesting. If we can compare, this is work in progress. So this is going to be like another study that we are going to compare with this study, how we are how we are going to learn the different audience they can donate and they can behavior, but in a different communication.
Mm.
So here, this is, I would say, again, this kind of, according to even some people in non-profit organization context, is the art when you design these letters, like envelopes, because it's a kind of love letter. Imagine like randomly someone is sending you a love letter. So it should be something that, oh, by the way, I have to open it. Wow, what is it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a blind date or whatever. But when they see that you have to pay, then it is going to be interesting. So far, we don't have, I would say, interesting data. Is obvious for everyone, right? Again,
Mm.
Let me ask
one of
something.
the
Why is the
yes,
And I just want to ask one thing. Why is the fear seems to be quite high as well, based on the results of the survey?
why? Please
Is the
repeat your
the fear
question. The
section,
fear.
the fear seems to be like 1.7%. Why is it has to be an element of fear here?
To be honest, I don't know. Maybe the fear about the donating, but for me, it was interesting the sadness,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which provoke,
because if
yeah, because if yeah,
sorry
continue.
about interrupting. No, I was just thinking of something. I mean, if the first posters and everything had depicted otherwise, then I wouldn't have eliminated the negative, disgust, and fear down here. Because the original message was not to depict like negative, disgust, or fear. It's like donating. And then if you already had the fear of donating, then obviously what comes after and what comes before, what will come after that, it will always be here. You always fear to donate, whatever the marketing comes in.
Hmm.
So the
Yeah,
proper message
I mean,
from the start has to eliminate these three factors. I think so.
yeah. Again, what we understood, and after that we had discussion with both like a consultant in this context, NGO, because it's also interesting to mention the NGO context is quite different than profit, like NPO, non-profit organization context is quite different than profit organization context. And that is also something that we should take into consideration. And that was the reason, in general, for me, the motivation to jump into this study, to understand what are the difference between these two different contexts, because there are lots of studies has been done in profit-based organizations, like measuring stimuli and so on. But in non-profit organization, within the special context like this, which can help to understand how people behave the way they behave according to stimuli that we have just. This is letter. It was interesting, and it was kind of like whether it is right or wrong is not my, let's say, problem now. What I wanted to understand is exactly what you said. Why is that so? I wanted to, even they didn't know something they can do like this. So the current methodology that they have in terms of development of the whole media and so on is based on their experience on writing, copywriting, and so on. So there is no absolutely testing, pre-testing, and so on. This is backside of envelope. How would you design as a neuromarketer the backside?
I would suggest if we could have some pictures maybe of the cause of the donation, that would be more appealing in a way. Because as it is now, seems to be a little bit too, I don't know, too not appealing at
Bland.
all.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
like on the backside,
exactly.
usually, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the backside usually is like where you open the envelope, right? So I would do like a call to action also, something like open now to help or whatever, or like something, because we're on the backside. And now as a German, I'm able to translate again, and it says over 16 years of like making a difference together, something like that. And that's, I mean, it's nice, it's positive, but it's very like, yeah, bland. It's just not an active statement. It's super passive. It's like, okay, nice. You continue doing that,
Yeah,
and I just throw it away because I don't want to give you my money. So yeah, like the speakers before me said, very bland, also from the colors, but also from the message.
and more.
Like maybe would put something on there like, oh, you can make a difference now, with a picture where, you know, people can see the positive impact of donations. Something like that.
Exactly. So you see, it's a deadly mistake in my point of view. Like it's like the letter love, and then you want to the audience like open it with full passion.
Mm.
With full passion, like the lover, the way the lover sending the letter love, and you're like you're emotionally like engaged to let me open what is going to be inside, and this is not happening here at all.
Yeah.
And I think,
Because
yeah,
psychologically, because psychologically from the start, we haven't bring that element of love. That's why it doesn't result backwards after that.
yeah, maybe, but
For example,
mhm.
like you're saying about love, for example, well, we've all been teenagers down here. Teenagers, reactly because love at first sight. This is where everything gets back to followed on a trend, love letters and everything, because you have that visual love at first sight. But here, the first thing we saw it's not love at first sight. So the love element after that does it seems to be on the mind, cognitive process mind.
Yeah.
I think you're right, but what I want to explain is your first impression is your last impression. And this is the letter. So if you cannot really engage any audience with like opening like this a little bit with kind of like attraction, I think you're losing lots of
Yeah,
people to not opening this letter and just put it on the bean without opening.
yeah,
So you are losing the
yeah,
message inside. So you mentioned rightfully. So we don't have call to action. As you know here, we have some elements that is must to have and nice to have. If we think strategically from the point of view of the like KNH and limitations that they have to have address or I don't know, information like banner, logo, and receive address. But then you have this huge area, which interestingly is the first time to, let's say, noticeability and the fixation time, and you're losing this easily. All in all, you see how it's important to have this information. This is what I want to emphasize. Whatever you learn so far and you're learning in your, let's say, studies about neuromarketing, I'm begging you, first put this lens in your eyes that is it relevant in this context or not?
So just from the German point of view, with the third one where it says recipient's address, I don't know if that's like a translation error because the recipient is on the front page. Like if I get the letter, my address is on the front page. And what it says here in number 3 is the chairwoman of the board. So to me as a donator, that doesn't seem relevant. I'm not sure if they're by law supposed to put it there. And also with
Yeah,
their
they
own
have
address, like I'm
limitations.
also,
They have
yeah, they have to. Okay.
because they have to. That's why I'm telling some of these elements you cannot
Yeah, we have
touch.
to do. Yeah, okay, got it.
But those that you can touch, I mean,
Yeah,
it's such a waste of uh, let's
space.
say a space with this purple or I would say good space even that you can do that. And this is also interesting that even the heat map is goes to the right side and reading. So even logo is not that much interesting. So it's in the right side. And again, here, what is the dominant, let's say, emotion?
Neutral and then sadness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
actually, it's doing the opposite of being opening a love letter. It looks to be more fear and sadness here.
I mean, the thing is, it also is a sad topic, so I'm not too sure about like which emotion we would actually go for. Because there's this like the discussion about if you want to have people in a positive emotion and they're more willing to actually do something. But then again, sometimes if you have fear or negative feelings, it can also be very impactful. Especially in this case, I think it's very difficult. If you make it too positive, it seems like maybe you don't even have to do something because so many people are already helping or something. Or if you make it too negative, people also don't do anything because they're frozen. So I think that's really difficult with an NGO.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Spot on. It's very difficult for NGO because it's a very special context. So when they open the letter, they have, when they open the envelope, they have this letter. So the area of interest that we have like a 9 place, it's quite interesting. Based on the literature review, we have in general in non-profit organization, we have the sequence of first like a problem, solution, or first solution, like introduction, problem, then solution, you say in the letter, and we have the other way around, like introduction, like solution, and then again you are doing the problem. And what is very interesting for you here, specifically I'm asking first from our German friends.
So you mean what's most interesting here?
Yes, for you.
I mean, I have to say I was surprised that everyone is looking at the long letter text at first. I mean, I guess because it's so, like, it takes up most of the space, I guess, not really because of the content. And then it goes to, like, the headline, because it's highlighted, I would say, for contrast. So it goes there, and it's short, and it says the same as on the first page, like, your donation is protecting kids from violence. So at least we are coherent with one message. That's positive, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was surprised by the text, and I'm not sure if you need this much text, if that actually makes it better. Because there's a lot going on, like, yeah. Ah, yeah, of
But this
course.
is
Yeah, okay. I
interesting.
didn't look into it that deep yet.
So it's interesting for us, also for me personally, was also like if like before a study, I was thinking, okay, the first thing that maybe the audience, they will see the lady on the top.
Yeah.
But to my surprise, also, like they started with the text, and then if you really go deep, you see the whole that part is talking about the problem, like the introduction, and then that specific part is talking about the problem.
How interesting that is where the attention goes straight away, even though they haven't even read it yet.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's also because of the layout. Like, if I imagining opening a letter, then like it's like the middle part of the letter, which is usually what you see first. I mean, except for when you have it like closed, then you see the top. But as soon as you open it, it's the middle.
Maybe,
I guess.
No, but this is interesting. They didn't open this, so they saw in the screen.
Ah, okay, yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, then it's interesting, yeah.
It's just like they want to know what's the letter is about, the program about.
The letter is about that they have to like agree, and they convince, they persuade the German household to pay 60 euros as a donation to children, to support children in Africa.
But it's interesting, this thing that you just said, like with the 60 euros, like the technical details, they're just down below in the PS part.
Yeah.
Very hidden to me, but I guess it's because they don't want to be like, yeah, we want your money. They don't want to put too much pressure and just ask like politely, I guess.
Exactly.
Do we have a data about the age group that this kind of letter is being targeted to?
Sorry, come again, your question. I lost your sound.
Do we have some data about the age group this letter is roughly targeted to?
Yes, higher than 60 years old.
Why is there more sadness when they read the solution? I'm so confused. The solution is positive.
Exactly. That's where the confusion comes in. Yeah. Because at 60 years old, maybe some would find it too difficult, not difficult, but to just, have a proper look and just put it down there. So maybe the target should be something, the target age
No,
group should be
this is
different, I would suggest.
no. The target is we had to check with the experts from this industry.
Mhm.
And this industry specifically, they target these people. They have like money and they are rich in this area, the area of that our client asked, and they had already, let's say, very specific target audience, and they asked 60 euros, and here you see the most, let's say, sadness part. It goes to 60 euros.
Exactly.
And
So maybe
it was
if
interesting.
yeah, it's true, I guess, because at 60 years old, 60 euros may sound a fortune for you in a way, because you cannot earn money anyway, because if you're retired in some way, then that could assume to be something financially a
If
burden
they're
somewhere.
rich, it's not a problem. It really depends, I guess, on the target group. But yeah.
Yeah,
You want
as
your
I
money
said,
anyway,
if
so
we
it's
could have
sad.
targeted like uh, I would see it like if we could have targeted from if we are bringing NGO contribution, maybe right from, I don't know, from primary age school, you start to build that mindset from there, and they get back to the parents and then uncles and loved ones and then grandparents. Would have bring a more cohesive message than just targeted a 60-year-old. Financially, I'm talking about finance and accounting.
Mhm.
It's
But
like
it's
you're taxing
interesting.
everyone small bits than putting the burden on only one person. So you get 60 euros collectively rather than taxing only one person. In a way, because I'm from a tax and finance world. I'm not neuroscientist.
Mhm. And this
Maybe
is
60
also very
euros is the
interesting.
small part already.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was just a
And this
joke.
is
Yeah, all good.
and this is very interesting as well. So as you saw, like we had two different groups: those that are ready to donate and those that are not ready to donate, or they didn't have the experience on donation. And you see the pattern, specifically you rightfully mentioned about the PS. Among those that are ready to donate, they didn't see this PS and 60 euros. And this is interesting for those that it caught their attention in a way, you see? And the pattern is different. And this is also the way we measure this is quite explicit, like click measurement.
Is the letter the only thing they got, or was there, like, usually, at least in Germany, usually in these letters
No,
when they ask for your
we have
donation, there's a
we have 4 elements in the envelope.
yeah.
This is just each element we ask to evaluate.
Okay. Yeah. No.
So we go like first we saw the envelope, Second, we saw, now we are seeing the letter, and then we go to the other elements as well.
Okay, yeah, I was just interested.
Yeah, this is the one that you mentioned, which we don't have any control on changing this.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the people who are willing to donate, maybe, I don't know, if those are also, or some of them already donated previously, so they don't read the PS, they're just looking at what's the problem, what's the solution, okay, where can I give you my money? Like, I was wondering
Yeah,
what's the reason
exactly.
why, like, why the other ones who are not ready to donate, why they focus much harder on the PS. That was my interest, like, why? But
Yeah, for me was also something interesting, but among all, you see, the price is something like the willingness to donate. When we design the study, after that we add another research question. Okay, this is interesting. So if the 60 euros is something that they are struggling with, what would be the optimal donation rate that you should ask? Maybe the 60 euros is less or is high, right?
yeah.
So this is the all in all, whatever I'm telling you, all this kind of information, it was hidden for the NGO, that they didn't think about it in this way, that the neuromarketing could reveal this huge amount of information.
And how does that work with click measurements? Do you basically ask them click the thing that you don't like? Or
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly. So we wanted to see, okay, because eyes are implicit in our, let's say, categories of
Yeah.
measurement. You cannot control your eyes.
Mhm.
It kind of goes to the implicit way.
Mhm.
Click measurement is your conscious. So
Mhm.
you read and like or dislike. It's like when you like moving your mouse when you're reading. So this is based on your conscious part.
Understood.
Subconscious part, you don't have any control on that.
Mm.
So this is the other like one performance additional page image, which is like, again, I would say it could be much more creative, but this is the way it is,
Mm.
because afterwards we wanted to compare the one that we can propose to the client, that they can have the enhanced version, and we run another data collection to compare the one that we applied neuromarketing techniques and the one that is current version. That was our ultimate goal, which it couldn't be happen because of limitation of the client. And you see again the address as of the highest fixation count and fixation duration.
Mm. Mm.
It's interesting that this page, who is really actually about the money, is perceived very neutral. Maybe
Yeah.
because you're not asked, maybe, and you're used to how it looks like. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a surprise to me.
Mhm. This is another one. So slowly we are proposing. You see, 15 euros, 30 euros, 45 euros, but they ask 60 euros. And for me, was interesting that the image that they choose. I think maybe it is my understanding that after the donation, the children are more happier. But then we have the negative emotion in general.
I mean, I'm wondering, like, at least in some of our neuro classes, we talked about the mirror neurons. So when you advertise a classic product, that you show not just the product, but people using the product. So when you're looking at it, you kind of get the same emotions they have, and you kind of want to belong. So I feel like, or I'm wondering just if instead of showing something related to the course, maybe you could show some other people donating. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't look very attractive in a picture with someone else just filling out a form, or I don't know, but maybe I was just wondering if that would make a difference.
Yeah, actually, I find it a
Yeah,
very good idea. If someone is donating and the kids is happy from receiving something from that person that's donating, then that could change something. Then
exactly. Exactly. These form, it can be absolutely in a very like creative way. They can put the call to action, and it can be reorganized. And like before and after of this donation, if I were the designer or the team, I would do like sad, let's say, kids in the like your left side, and then with the donation they are more happier, something like that. But you see how is relevant and important that even with this little information, it can be huge improvement, and it can help a lot of girls in Africa or Brazil or whatever. So I would say neuromarketing can have huge impact to enhance the communication.
Totally. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's not just,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
What I'm wondering about, I'm not sure what's your opinion on that, was like we have the prices above, like the amount you want to donate. And there's just the anchoring effect with the first number you see, and then everything is compared to that. So the first number we saw was 60, and now we're not even seeing 60, we're seeing everything below 60. So
Yeah.
60 now seems even higher than before. I mean, if now we would have like, I don't know, 55 and then 60 and then 100, then a 60 would suddenly seem lower. So maybe that would also be like with the rule in the middle, like most of the time people choose the thing in the middle. Or maybe I'm not sure with donations, maybe they always choose the one on the left because they don't want to donate too much. But maybe if you want them to donate 60, maybe you could also just show different prices on the left side for different amounts. It's not really a price, but
Exactly. So there is no consistency, in my opinion.
yeah. At least not with the pricing, yeah.
No, it's confusing.
Consistency. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it is again surprise that literally we don't have that much attention to the picture, which in the literature, I mean, before like having the eye tracking, I would suppose to have like the pictures can grab more attention, but not here. And also it was for us, it was surprising. Why is that happening here?
Yeah.
I mean, even there are even faces in it. You always hear that people like to look at faces and then eyes, draw your eyes onto it. So it's really confusing, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what was my introduction about. The context matters. So theory and the application theory in the context gives you better understanding, not the general theory.
And all of the
And
things
that
you
is,
showed us, did you do them with the cool tool you mentioned before
yes,
as a
yes,
software? Yeah, okay.
yes. I'm going to open even the cool tool, and we are going to see the dashboard. But before that, I wanted to give you these details clean, I would say, result to see how powerful is that we did the whole thing online remotely. Again, the same consistent analysis of dislike, click measurement, and like. And then again, another page. So in my opinion, less is more. Why do we have a lot of like, I mean, if I was like, of course, I'm not 60 years old, but even without being 60 years old, I'm not going to go through all of this, even if the most lovely, the most romantic letter I can receive, I'm not going to go through all of this, you know?
But the text on the left is probably not optional. Like you probably have to put it because it is like it says confirmation for the tax office. So I guess the left we can't. Yeah, you can't change. Okay.
Yeah, you cannot change, but I mean, like, it's a lot, in my opinion.
It is a lot and stupid that you have to put it there because it in the end it destroys everything you're aiming for. But yeah, I guess that's how it is. I mean, in that context, I like that they put a picture on the right and not more text. But yeah.
Yeah, tax authority.
Sorry, I can see 300 euros. I don't know what does it mean, but I can see 300 euros down here. What does it say?
For donations up until 300 euro. So if you donate more, it wouldn't apply to you. I guess you get something separate then.
With 60 euros, we already have an issues, and now they're putting up the scale more up to 300 euros.
Yeah, right. Also, I mean, I don't know, like when you donate online or when you, like, I don't know how the rules are, but when you donate, usually in the end of the year, you get like the record for the tax office. So I'm really not sure why they put it in here, but I guess it's not optional. Otherwise, they probably would have left it out. Hopefully.
Yeah, this is also something that there are lots of confusion, in my opinion, here.
Yes,
I
definitely.
feel like
Yeah,
sometimes, especially old brands or like old companies, they don't really have digitalized processes. So maybe you could also send them this like later, or maybe they're just doing it because they're lazy. Actually, sometimes I feel like with like some brands, you have to question everything because maybe it's just like, hey, we've always done it that way. We don't
seems
know.
like a sigma. Seems to be like a sigma theory needs to be applied here in this case, from A to Z back again.
So what theory? Sorry, come again.
A sigma theory.
Ah, Sigma theory.
Getting back from scratch again.
And I don't understand also what's going on North America that is interesting for people on the top.
But what does it say on top?
On top of the map, it says we help in 33 countries worldwide. And I guess maybe the highlighted countries is where they're helping.
So that's why the heat map says they've been just reading about the 33 countries and everything.
Yeah, and
So
I guess like
300
below, there are just keywords like we fight poverty, we inform, we help with catastrophic events. So it's just like different kind of help they provide. But also, I mean, everything is gray, and I feel like, especially like if you have reading problems, like with your eyes, in this target group, maybe gray font on a gray background is not the best idea.
Yeah,
I agree.
Especially with like the 60-year-olds.
It's quite
exactly.
surprising. It's quite surprising also that we don't see the heat map on what they actually do, what's been written down.
Yeah, it's all gray and gray.
Yeah, you are already expert, so I don't need to explain anything.
No, I'm very new. I don't know anything about all this. I'm just doing that for fun.
And this is the other, let's say, paper within the envelope, which is interesting as well. So again, this solution, from solution to problem or problem to solution, this is interesting, also is valid. And in this context is a theory, and it's very famous theory that we discovered, that the copywriter in this context of NGO, they are following this a lot, like putting like a problem and then putting the solution, or vice versa. And here is interesting that like this is a happy girl with the logo, and then the least one, which I would say understand why we have this.
Yeah, so
What do you
like
think?
from the text it says info service, call us, but also, I mean, I guess I feel like they offer like so many things with one envelope or one letter. It's like donate here, donate there, you can call, like 100 things, and in the end you don't know what to do, and then you do nothing. I mean, nice to get their number, but I don't think it needs to be like with a picture and everything. You can hide it in the bottom. If someone wants to call, they will find the number. But I feel like they need to focus on one. like one objective, and in this case,
less
it
is
should be
more.
donation. Yeah.
And here is interesting. So we don't care about the pictures. We read the problem
So
I mean,
and
what's also
benefit.
is it that the team that designed it, they are aware that they are providing too much information that at the end they put like info service somewhere if someone wants to inquire more? I don't know. It looks to me like that. They are aware that they've been putting so much information. It seems so.
I mean, it
Uh,
also says here, like, you can do a lot with a monthly donation of 15 euro, which is confusing because the whole letter was about 60 euro. So why is it now monthly? And before it seemed like 60 euro just once, and now it's monthly 15 euro. So it's not very consistent. So
That's
how
why we
much
have
do
the
you
info
you
want?
see,
service.
this is exactly what you said. So you see,
Yeah.
the benefits of donation is not relevant in my opinion, and also from the audience opinion. At least we know why they're sad here. And again, click measurement. So this is something that I think is very interesting. This click measurement and comparing to, for example, eye tracking, it gives you very interesting direction if you compare. And then it goes to like the brand awareness and all these let's say survey uh, things that we can do, which is, I would say, interesting, but you can do all the thing. But the thing that in Cool Tool, something that we is really interesting, that not just we can have like a platform that we can run the online way, like explicit way. We have implicit reaction time as well for like a brand perception. So we can measure implicitly what is the reaction of the people to each associations that comes to the mind when they think about, for example, KNH or SOS or like BFD and so on and so forth. And this is very interesting. The associations and the way we are measuring in terms of the confidence index is quite interesting for different brands. So is average confidence, but these associations, safe, original, represents me. These are the things that you have to convey and communicate, I would say, if you want to make sure that you are doing the right way to ask people in terms of the call to action. So you remember that we were like we were adding another research question, that what would be the price that we should ask. So we did that kind of price sensitivity as well, and this was the result. It's a huge difference, right?
And they asked for 60. Oh my.
Yes.
I mean, what would be interesting to me is if you're like, if you do a comparison between asking for 60 and maybe not getting a lot of people and asking for less, but then you also need more people to get the same amount, which one
Yeah.
would be like just more useful in the actual amounts of money they get?
Yeah, but knowing this 20 as
Yes.
like mean price
Helpful
or
already.
optimal price is something that it save huge amount of money. Imagine how much money they put on printing, distributing, designing, and whole cycle and whole production for asking 60 euros, which people most probably they're not going to do so.
Yeah.
And that's in a nutshell what I wanted to show. From the end we came to the beginning. So I wanted to show what we have done with Cool Tool, and now I want to show you Cool Tool, that it can be your tools for your, let's say, projects, future projects, or current projects, that you can enjoy the capability of having all-in-one platform to do both survey explicitly and implicitly.
And how
Any
did you
questions so
do
far?
the pricing? Did you just like, I saw below there were the questions, so you really just ask questions and then you had like your text field where I could type in the numbers, or how did you do the pricing thing? I would be very interested in this part.
The pricing goes to like two ways. Like, we ask explicitly what is the optimal, let's say, amount that you want to donate, and then with the implicit we analyze the optimal amount. So we ask the maximum, minimum, and then we try to use a slider to understand what is the optimal version. Yeah. So let me open this one. Any questions so far? So this is the Cool Tool, cooltool.com, and this is the, you see my screen hopefully, right?
Yeah, you're just logged in.
Yeah. So it is very intuitive dashboard and easy to use. Currently, as you can see, we have a lot of projects is going on. These are for my student in master level at Tokyo International University, that they are like doing a lot of interesting projects for their master thesis and also their like project for the course. Later on, I will show you inside, but it's very easy that when you want to create a project, you create a project. We have ability to have the in lab, so meaning it can have like connected to eye tracking with a physical eye tracking, EEG, emotional measurement, and so on. So we can use as a static lab as well with the application of Cool Tool, which was like the like before COVID most commonly used, but now even the online is very powerful that most of the people they conduct cross-cultural studies with the online setup, and usually those that they want to use eye tracking, implicit test, survey, facial recognition, and so on, they are coming to Cool Tool because it's very handy. It's very, let's say, easy to run and very efficient and effective in terms of like eye tracking, emotion measurement, click measurement, and implicit. So when we create the project on something, we start with the base. And here is the dashboard that you can have different variety of questions. You see different type of
So you always start with the questions?
yeah, you start with questions basically.
Mm-hmm.
And like different type of question you can type, you can put the let's say options, you can play with design, very intuitive, like here you see we have questions, open-ended forms, smile rating. So this is also very interesting because you can see you can get and you can make a better visually better survey than like the other solutions that we have. It increased the response rate and so on and so forth, and that's very cool. But when you want to add neuro tests, you can measure the image in terms of like it can be advertising, logo, product design, website mockup, screenshot. You can use eye tracking, emotion measurement. We can have the product shelf design. So you put whatever shelf you need in terms of packaging, maybe like different setup, or you want to compare different element or object in one slide. This is very useful. The other type is video, so you can analyze the video, implicit test, and media slider. So these are, let's say, 5 main neuro tests that we have so far in Cool Tool. Soon is going to be another update that we are going to have sonic and sensory mix options as well, which is going to be interesting as well. That can add another feature to Cool Tool. And then after that, it's very handy again that you can the way you want to collect data, if you have access to your data set is something you can link to your website or a third party or I don't know, panels and so on. So you can add different data collector to make it happen.
So, for example, here you could, I'm not sure if I understand this correctly, you could do like a link for TikTok and a link for Instagram, and it could be a different link.
Exactly.
So in the end, you can
Exactly.
separate the people from TikTok like this and the people from Instagram like this, or age groups or whatever.
Exactly.
But you will have to
Exactly.
find the people who are responding yourself, right? It's not that you've got like people who are working for you who are like responding, right? Is that right?
It depends on you. Like some projects you find, some project you have database, some project like based on your research question and the way you're collecting data, this is up to you.
Understood.
So
It looks really good
anyway,
though.
I mean, like anyway, for example, this is one project that now we are running, and students they are looking at. So let's go to the result analysis. So like so far, for example, they had like 100. You see the final survey. So we did the test run, 7 responses completed, and now they have 94 like it's completed and it is ready to use. When we have this analyze result, you have all these one by one recording, and you can exclude those that they have like emotion data integrity, or you have like a low quality data collection, you can exclude from your report.
So, and how it works is I would be sending it to someone and then they need to consent probably that their data is being collected, and eye tracking is working with the webcam, or?
Yeah. So let you what is their project. So here after that reports, let's see the report first. For example, this one. So they're looking at the packaging. It's a neuro packaging project, and they have this is like their report. So you have very easy, let's say, kind of aggregated data prepared for you. You see, you can download, you can make a JPEG, I don't know, PNG. You can download as PDF. Here you can generate as PDF, export to PDF or PPT. Here you can change the style of, I would say, colors. Anything is adjustable, is intuitive, very easy to use. do-it-yourself approach, and you don't need to be expert in neuromarketing. If you really understanding the tech, like 2-3 sessions is enough that you can be really expert in cool tool in order to adjust your needs, and based on your research question is about your expertise of understanding how you design your survey based on your conceptual framework and so on. So, but this is very cool, I would say, because it's saving huge amount of time for cleaning the data set, like making the graphs easy to digest, and even for neuro test, we have let me reading. We have heat map, opacity map, like other different kind of like analysis in terms of the eye tracking. For example, this is for eye tracking. Oh my God.
A lot of data in the background.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be take that much long. It's not rocket science. It's just neuromarketing.
Oh, okay.
So let me just show you this.
The question you showed before was like, what emotions do you connect with the brand? Oh, nice.
Here, they're working on this project, and the research question is quite interesting. So let me bring the research question, and you see here the way they organize the questions. You see?
So what I was wondering is how much of like this, like the brand associations and logo associations, if that would make sense for a brand that's just like newly founded, like if you start a new brand, would it be useful to already do this test before actually launching, or do you actually need to be on the market for a while to actually make the test? Because I guess if you don't know the brand, there can't be any emotions you associate with it, except for maybe the colors and how it's framed. Like, do you think it would make sense before launching a new brand, or?
Yeah, of course, of course. Anything before is crucial in my opinion,
To not waste money.
because it's because you know, in neuromarketing, in my opinion, you need to be a commando. You have just one shot. You don't have a lot of money to waste. You have just one shot, and that should be headshot.
Mm.
The traditional way of doing market research is okay, like let's kill everyone, but here we have just one bullet, and we need to exactly do the right shot. And what is that shot? Is your research question formation, understanding how you're going to frame your research question, how you're going to collect your data and how you're going to represent to your audience. It could be like your client, or it could be your academic, let's say, audience in journal, academic journal or conference. It depends on you how you show the reality. Again, you're doing the headshot, but you can show from this angle, and then you can show from this angle. So a cool tool in a nutshell, I think, with all the limitations that we have, give you ability to run with the do-it-yourself approach. And this is very cool, I would say, because you cannot learn martial arts with just reading the book.
Yeah, I get it. That's a
You
nice
can
comparison.
you cannot be a good swimmer with just reading the instruction. So meaning that you have a lot of resources, but you need to play with the cool tool a little bit. But before that, you need to have a strong research framework, because later on, when you collect data, when you want to, let's say, interpret your data, it should be connected to your research framework. This is the highlight of today, in my opinion. To the tools, whatever tools you use, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. The most important skill here now, how you are going to design your research. A smart design, because then you can adapt your question on the way, I would say. Even if you do the run test, you can adapt based on your research question.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was really good. I'm definitely going to have a look at that. I think that's great. Yeah.
And I think you can do cooler stuff. I mean, you can really do lots of interesting stuff. Currently, we are doing for giant companies like consulting project with Cool Tool, with academic, as I showed you. We have now currently we do in my course, current course, more than 20 projects with different topics at the same time. Data collection, which is very cool, because you can diverse as long as you have ability to collect data properly. And you can do and run the whole experiment from Japan till the moon, if you want to go to the moon.
Why not? Right?
Yeah, why not? I mean, this is something very interesting. So you can do the cross-cultural studies. The only thing that might be a little bit limitation now, if you have like kind of EEG style of studies, then you have limitation in terms of like bringing people to the lab and data collection and so on. So this is the only tricky part, that maybe the other solutions you can use on that direction.
Let me ask something. is it also not important, like to actually, in a way, commercially present results after all this being done? It's like to assess what is the return on investment, or what is the profits has risen by that much, how the impact was prior to the marketing, prior to what has been developed, because obviously all these had a cost, initial cost.
Yeah, you
And
can continue as longitudinal study, like the first study, the second, you can compare the studies, and that is absolutely feasible.
because as long as you show positive results of the impact that has been input and investment done, obviously things, I mean, going to grow on a different level, I guess.
Yeah, this needs to compare within two different phases, right?
Yeah, exactly, because it has to be a prior marketing or prior project marketing, and it has to be an accompany after project marketing. So we need to show a sense
Exactly.
of accountability in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
What has been done.
Before neuromarketing and after neuromarketing applied.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is also very for our brain is important. So show the before and after. Uh, this is very important. No worries. Thank you so much. All you want to go and you have obligation, you can go. But it was very fantastic to see you and meet you, and hopefully soon in person. We can meet in Barcelona if you're around, or hybrid, whatever. Maybe you can come to Japan or Portugal or anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Welcome to the tour. So hopefully we can have a neuromarketing tour globally. This can be very interesting that we can show different studies. Like this is for me now is interesting to bring Japanese or Asian insight to understand what is their feeling about BMW compared to Toyota. This is for me is cool to understand human behavior, or comparing in the Indian context or in Bangladesh or in Sri Lanka, or this market is also huge and is very interesting. Actually, now we collecting data about content creators that are using webcam with Corsair company, who is a producer of Elgato, these kind of gaming and face reader and podcast content creators, the way they are creating content, these fancy, let's say, equipment, how like they react when they are unboxing those tools. With the neuromarketing techniques, we are measuring their advertisement and how they're involved in this emotional journey. So there are lots of things you can do with this setup, and the sky is the limit. This is something which is before it was not possible. I mean, before I had huge pain. We did a huge investment on setting the lab. But nowadays, if you compare to the previous before COVID, we have huge opportunity to conduct cool projects with not just only cool tool, with others also that are coming to this domain, what we call it, the remote uh, setup of data collection. And any question, please write me. I'll put my email as well. So any question about your project you might have in terms of research design and so on and so forth, I'm here to help.
Thank you so much. Very interesting.
And I hope it was practical because I didn't want to go to lots of theories. You already had a lot of theories, so I tried to just jump into the water without knowing whether you know or not, but we could manage to be alive after some time.
Very much so. It was super interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, very
You're most
interesting. Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. That was amazing. Really insightful, especially the live demo of the tool.
Yeah, hopefully we can do some practice as well. So next session, maybe if I know the topics and those that they want to use, I'm able to create the projects and give access if they want me to kind of supervise, or I don't know, they can work with me in this domain. And then we do the trial in terms of like how they can set up their project, students in Cool Tool, and we start with like really practical hands-in, like purifying, because these projects that you saw in Cool Tool now, they had 4 sessions just to purify the research questions and then to put it in the Cool Tool, do the data testing, and then after my green light, the link sent out. Because again, I'm using maybe a lot of crazy analogies, but like commando, when you shoot, the bullet is out, and then the data collection is out. So you don't know it's going to be missed or is going to be done. So then if you're not taking care of this process, it's going to be crap in, crap out, which we don't want.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's
Thank you so
similar.
much.
Oh yeah, similar. I would say to accounting and auditing world. It's like you have all these, inputs, data, and you have to process all these. But what I think is really important is the monitoring and the auditing after doing all these. Then from that point, you can know exactly where to shoot.
Exactly. So this is very important. It's requires a lot of patience in terms of research
Right.
design
Yeah.
and understanding the variables and the literature review. I would highly recommend to do perfect detailed literature review, because literature review can give you better understanding what has been done. Is like, this series previously on Prison Break, that announcement when Prison Break was announcing previously on Prison Break, that specific 1 minute was highlights because you know what was happening
Exactly.
before.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You could create a YouTube series previously on Cool Tool or something. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
this can be something that I need to think about that.
Please let me know if you started. I would watch.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe with you guys, with your project, we say previously with Sophia's work.
Yeah, that would also be cool. The thing is, we like with a lot of like most of the students who are studying today, at least as far as I know, they already have to hand in the project in like a week. So there's not much we can do now because it's a bit short of time. But yeah, some of them, like the student who was here before, I think Catherine is her name. Like she just started, so she might contact you for help, but we'll see.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, in
But
whatever
it was
stage in
interesting.
your life, non-related to neuromarketing or related to neuromarketing, you can count on me.
Well, I will remember that. I might email
Yeah.
you. Be aware.
Yeah, I'm here to serve. Thank you so much for organizing this
Yeah.
session, and
Thank you.
hope to see you very soon. Take care.
See you, everyone. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.